Braun Strowman gets what he wants. Welcome back to the ACB Wrestling Talk channel, your main source for wrestling news, topics, discussions, previews, all that kind of good stuff. I am your host, Alexis Carrillo, and this is the Raw preview for tonight's episode of Monday Night Raw. And after what transpired last night at Survivor Series, it seems that the monster among men, Braun Strowman, is getting everything he asked Stephanie McMahon for last week on Raw. Braun Strowman led his team at Survivor Series to beat Smackdown, and now he can not only get his hands on Baron Corbin, but he can do it with the stipulation that he so chooses, and he will receive a future Universal Championship match against the Beast Incarnate, Brock Lesnar. So, with that said, I think it's pretty damn clear, at least this is just me speculating, it might become a reality or they might change plans, but at least for me, this is what's going to go down in the next few months on Raw. Braun Strowman will get his match against Baron Corbin at TLC on December 16th in San Jose, California. He will choose his stipulation for that match, whatever it may be. And I'm not really sure what kind of preference Braun Strowman has as it pertains to tables, ladders, or chairs, or a combination of all three. Who knows? We have yet to find that out. But I do believe he will get his one-on-one match with Baron Corbin at TLC. Now, the problem I see right there is both of these men are brawlers. They're not wrestlers. They are brawlers. So with that, Braun Strowman is the better brawler, being that he is the big man. He is the most believable big man on the current WWE roster, which makes it very entertaining, to watch him perform in that ring. However, on the flip side, we have his opponent, or his future opponent, who is Baron Corbin. Now, if you follow the Raw previews, if you follow this channel, and if you follow what, my opinions, you know I do not think highly of Baron Corbin, whether it be his character or his in-ring work. So as it pertains to his in-ring work, he's a brawler, he's a very bad brawler, he's a very unentertaining character and performer in that ring. And if you pair these two up, the only way I see this match working, the only way I see this match being entertaining is if Braun Strowman just gets to squash him over the next 5-10 minutes in his match, and Strowman obviously gets to win. That's the only way I see it. But, we can expect it to be a back and forth because that's how they have been booking Baron Corbin over the past few months. Now, with the case of his title shot against Brock Lesnar, one thing that is clear to me is that Brock Lesnar is gone from WWE at least for the remainder of 2018. I do not expect him to be back for the remainder of 2018. What I am expecting is for Braun Strowman to get his Universal title match at the Royal Rumble against Brock Lesnar. But that won't change things. I don't think they're going to put the title on Strowman at the Rumble. I don't think they're going to have Strowman going into WrestleMania as a Universal Champion. They're going to play it safe. They're going to keep the title on Lesnar. That's what I believe. If you have a different thought, if you have a different opinion, or if you have a different prediction for what might happen in the next few months on Monday Night Raw, make sure to leave it on the comments section below. I'll be sure to read those comments. But moving on to the most important title on Raw once again, because the Universal title will be nowhere to be found. Seth Rollins last night got a win over Shinsuke Nakamura. And yes, he got a win, but now, at Survivor Series, he was informed that he was going to have to defend the Intercontinental Championship against Dean Ambrose at TLC. Meaning that their first match against each other, Ambrose and Rollins, will most likely have a stipulation. Because it's TLC, and it's a big match, and it's Raw's, by default, it's Raw's top title right now. So, let's see how that transpires. Let's see how that works itself in the next few weeks. I don't know if this alters any plans on the road to WrestleMania, or, maybe, Ambrose versus Rollins was never a plan for WrestleMania. We'll just have to wait and see. One thing that caused a lot of controversy last night was the fact that WWE kept advertising, kept promoting the fact that Raw went over SmackDown Live in a clean sweep, 6-0. Here's the thing, here's the catch. There were 7 interpromotional matches advertised for the Survivor Series event. Now on the main card, yes, Raw went 6-0 against SmackDown, and yes, on the main show it was a clean sweep. But on the kickoff, on the pre-show, a match that was advertised in advance as an inter-brand showdown was the tag team Survivor Series elimination match. That damn confuses me. I don't know why. It's 10 men versus 10 men. But that was an interpromotional match. And SmackDown Live got the win, as I predicted, and as they should have, because they have the superior tag team division. A lot of fans are angry over the fact that WWE completely ignored that win. Amongst them, superstar himself, Xavier Woods. If you follow him on Twitter, he voiced his displeasure with WWE announcers and WWE itself ignoring and not acknowledging their win over the Raw tag teams. If you ask me, I have a perfect understanding of this entire situation. These companies, in this case WWE, they make their own rules, they make their own logic, they make whatever they want to happen. Why? Because it's their show. Why? Because they are in control. They have done it in the past, they are doing it right now, they will do it in the future. That's the way it's been, that's the way it will always be, so I don't really give it much attention or much interest to this entire controversy. Because like I said, WWE will do what is best for their storylines and what is best for their characters at the moment, at the right moment. There's a reason there's no WWE handbook out there for fans to look over and analyze the rules and call WWE out on it. Such a thing does not exist. Such a rule book does not exist. WWE uses their own logic. That is it. It's happened many times in other forms of entertainment where they reboot stuff or they replan stuff or they ignore stuff that's happened in the past for the sake of the story plots going into the shows. WWE is a form of entertainment. I see no reason why they should really, care about having that kind of rule book and having that kind of logic when they make up in their own world, because they are in complete control. So to me, that's the end of story. Then we also have the face breaker herself, Nia Jax, who last night led her team, the Raw Women's Survivor Series Tag Team Elimination Team. Honestly, it's a damn confusing name. It's a damn long name. It's a damn confusing name. So if you're bothered by if I'm butchering it, if I'm botching it, I'm sorry, but it's just me. So Nia Jax led her team to victory, not without a little bit of controversy. She took out Sasha Banks in the process, her own teammate. So we might see some repercussions and consequences going on right there on tonight's episode of Raw. One thing is for certain, Nia Jax will get her Raw Women's title match at TLC, because she is the #1 contender, because she won the Evolution Battle Royale about 3 or 4 weeks ago at the Evolution pay-per-view. So she is still booked to get that women's title shot. Now, as far as fans getting angry about how Nia Jax has embraced the whole facebreaker thing, even going as far as WWE themselves embracing the facebreaker gimmick and name that fans on the internet have given her. And a lot of fans are voicing their disdain over the fact that, Nia Jax injured Becky Lynch, causing the entire Survivor Series card to move around, and yet they somehow reward her. As far as I know, as far as my opinion, this is WWE, this is wrestling, this is entertainment. Okay? You have someone like Becky Lynch, who, yes, was accidentally hurt by someone who has a history of hurting people. That is very unfortunate. I do believe Nia Jax should be punished, depushed, not fired, never fired. Depushed, I would say sending her all the way back to NXT is a little bit far-fetched. But, that's the main reasoning behind all of that. But, should WWE embrace Nia Jax as a face breaker and use it as a gimmick and use the entire heel heat that she has on right now as a tool to push her over, to make her more over? That's something I agree with. That's something I can get behind because this is professional wrestling. People saw Daniel Bryan as the underdog because he was put down by the Authority and by brass backstage. And fans embraced that. Fans got behind that. WWE forcefully saw that and rallied behind that and pushed them to a WrestleMania main event title win. But they took advantage of that. I see no point why they should not do the same with Nia Jax in this case. Other than the fact that you have a bunch of fans out there who obviously wanted to watch Ronda Rousey versus Becky Lynch at Survivor Series. They could not. They're big fans of Becky Lynch. She got injured. And so now they have this attitude of protecting Becky Lynch, which I can totally understand. But again, this is professional wrestling. You strike when the iron is hot. Nia Jax, even though it wasn't storyline based, she is a heel. She is right now hated by the WWE Universe. WWE should take advantage of that and use that as a tool to get Ronda Rousey over. To get Nia Jax over as a heel and to put her down and make her one of the top heels in the Raw Women's division. That is the end of story for me on that. If you have any complaint about them using that real life heat on to promote Nia Jax, I'm sorry, but this is professional wrestling. I'm sorry. If you don't understand that, you should stop watching. Okay? If you can't handle that, you should stop watching. That is life. You do not get what you want. And if you want somebody like Becky Lynch and Daniel Bryan on top, you can't have it all your way. I'm sorry. That is life. That is WWE. That is everything. Deal with it or stop watching. That's what I would say to most of you. And finally, we've got this entire situation of Charlotte Flair snapping last night and attacking Ronda Rousey with a kendo stick and beating the living hell out of the Raw Women's Champion. Which, honestly, I really don't get. Charlotte Flair was a face. She turned heel. I don't know if this is WWE's way of making do for that weird hug between Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair on Smackdown Live this past Tuesday. I don't know if that's, their way of saying, Becky Lynch is a heel, and now Charlotte Flair is a heel too. So their hug really did make sense last Tuesday. But again, it's WWE's world, their rules, their logic. They can do whatever the hell they want. That's a proven fact. As far as this entire thing, Rousey versus Charlotte, they clearly did not want a clear-cut winner for this match. And maybe they did this in hopes of possibly having Charlotte versus Ronda at WrestleMania. Having that as an option for WrestleMania, or having Ronda versus Becky as an option at WrestleMania. Having both of them as options for WrestleMania, that's a great move. So, as it pertains to that, I think that's the main reason why they did what they did last Sunday, or last night at Survivor Series. But hey, those are my thoughts. This is a Raw preview. If you have your different thoughts, your different comments, your different predictions on tonight's show, and different thoughts on what happened last night, leave them in the comment section below. I'll be sure to read them, and if you start a discussion with me, of course, I'll respond accordingly. If you follow wrestling news, topics, discussions, previews, all that kind of good stuff, consider subscribing. If you like this video, hit the dislike button. If you dislike this video, hit the dislike button. That's it for me. Till next time.